This is Anarchast.
Hey, omniscient human beings. Welcome to another edition of Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. I'm really happy to have on Anthony Antonello, who, amongst many things, he's actually behind the scenes at Atom versus the Man, now I hear. And he also has Silence is Compliance, another program he does. Very interesting human being, and we're going to talk about many different things, including family life and the way to live in the new world that we have today. And actually, I got into that with Adam the other day, or today. I don't even know where I am or what time it is anymore. But Anthony, let me ask you first. The first question always is, how did you become an anarchist?
Oh man, how did I would the only way I could really explain it is it was just a natural progression of not to make it sound like I'm patting myself on the back for being smarter than other people, but it was just a natural progression of logical thinking and my philosophy for freedom, started years ago, and never in my life did I ever think I would get to this point, because I didn't even have an understanding of what anarchy or being an anarchist was. And from what I did understand through constant media manipulation and propaganda and misuse of the word purposely, from my understanding of it, I'd never in a million years thought that I would get to this point where I'm at. And I remember just a couple years ago, a lot of us used to joke, particularly actually Adam used to say, what's the difference between a minarchist and an anarchist? And I think the numbers kept changing. Once it was 2 years, and then all of a sudden it was 6 months, and I think that's what we're seeing now is this rapid. I guess it's almost like evolution, because people are really grasping the concept of this really quick. And me personally, to answer your question, it's just been a progression of studying, the natural and logical conclusion of freedom. And if you're gonna be somebody who promotes and advocates freedom, then there's really no other place to be. I mean, if we're gonna throw labels on it, there's really no other category to really go into. I mean, yeah, voluntarism and libertarianism. So I mean, but other than that, there's nothing really else to label it.
Yeah, no, I think you brought up a great point that I've been thinking a lot about lately. Is it is just rational. It's just logical. I think a lot of the past human beings, for whatever reason, usually because of government, schools, or religion, organized religion. I don't care what you believe life is. Actually, I do care. It's interesting, but I don't believe. I think organized religion is not a great thing. But it's all very irrational. It's all very illogical. And I've really been finding, and this all just happened last day or two, really, for me, that a lot of us guys and girls, definitely, and I think that women are going to change this whole game dramatically now that they're coming out of the woodwork. But we're almost like we're not even talking about freedom or anarchy anymore. Like we were talking just today or yesterday about what if we live forever? Like things are speeding up so fast now, and you brought that point up as well. Like I think the internet has a big part to do with that, and it's not just the internet. It's the way that we can connect as human beings is just accelerating at this like rapid velocity right now.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more on multiple points. And, I find myself torn and a couple points with the technology. Now, number one, am in no stretch of the imagination anti-technology. I think it is absolutely amazing. But at the same time, it could be very, very dangerous depending on who is in control of it. And but to see what you guys mentioned yesterday when you were on Adam's show, and you talked about how you're in Mexico and he's in California, and you're able to talk and see each other in real time, live. I mean, it's absolutely incredible that people could be on their cell phone on the street and do pretty much the same thing. It's crazy. But when I say the part that worries me a little bit is I don't know how I feel about the fact that it seems like it is disconnect. It is changing us as a species, as human beings. It is changing us because where people used to sit around and talk in person, that's pretty much gone out the window. It's gotten so far that people don't even talk on the phone that much anymore. It's everything's texting, and I get it. I do it. I do it myself, but it's almost like and when I say this, it goes both ways too. It's this real deep thinking, you say you don't know even what time or day it is sometimes, and you really no, I get it, and you think about this stuff, and it's like, all right, is this for the better or not? So I mean, these are the things that I think about, and I don't really know exactly where we're headed, but yeah, things are changing so fast. I mean, I never in my lifetime thought that I would live to see anything. Yeah, I mean, when they talked 1984, and when they talked, what are some of those other like movies about futuristic stuff? We're already beyond that stuff that they predicted back in the 70s and the 80s when they made, like Space Odyssey or whatever those movies are. Like we're beyond just about all of that stuff already.
However, I don't think that any human being has been on the moon yet. I've looked into this a little bit. Anyway, no, but it's incredibly interesting. What you were saying about how things are changing and how people are. And actually, I think a lot of people are having this issue now. You kind of see it. People are saying, well, we're always on our phones.
The social aspect. That's what I was.
The social aspect. But it's sort of the opposite opinion, or the opposite idea to that is what someone's saying when they say, oh, you're always on your phone, you're not really connecting with anyone, which is totally a legitimate sort of a question or comment. But you're actually, when you're on your phone or when you're on your computer, you're talking to like thousands of people around the world all the time.
Yeah, no.
Just something we have to get more used
get that.
to a little bit, maybe.
Right, and me been doing this, a very long time as you, and it's the split between the one world government that a lot of us, it's been pounded into our heads, obviously is a bad thing, but then if it's directed the right way, and people can be free and independent and able to do what they want to do and use this technology for the right thing, then I know it's almost like taboo saying it, especially for somebody like me. But I mean, I guess it can be a good thing. So I mean, this is where I say and I'm being brutally honest, I do find myself torn. With that, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's the natural progression. It's just how we as human beings are going to be able to deal with that, if we're going to be able to do it on an individual basis and have respect for self-ownership, or if the people are going to give in to complete slavery and basically have the opposite of that.
Yeah, I guess what you're kind of saying, if I understand you correctly, is that all this technology is quite amazing and has the potential to really change human life dramatically for the good. However, because we still have these governments, these collectivists,
Right.
it also is very dangerous. And actually, the funny part about this conversation is, right before we started, you said you're going to record on your end. I said I could record on my end, and I also said Third thing, I'm sure the NSA is recording this,
Yeah,
so
right.
we have a backup of everything. No, it's
Yeah.
very interesting times, and I think this is a very important topic. Is you know, like you just pointed out, you never could have imagined 20, 30 years ago. I don't know how old you are. You look about 30s.
Early 30s.
Yeah.
That's a funny story. I'm consciously trying to forget my age. I don't celebrate my birthdays anymore, and I know I could think of my birthday and figure it out, but I'm really trying to see if I could forget what my actual birth date is. I'm working on
Well,
that.
this is a thing that even just in the last day or so, just talking to Adam, that I've started to think more about is what is age? What is time?
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing that we have this opportunity to talk about this and to think about this. And it's not because of our right to free speech and some constitution on a piece of paper.
Right.
No, this is actually evolved through the market. And yeah, this is bringing about an opportunity to really explore and to think about things that I don't think many people have really had time or the ability to think about in the past.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. And to add to that, it, what I'm seeing is, in my opinion, I'm seeing a a divide. Yes, they're the divide getting bigger, and yes, I totally agree that there are a lot of people at rapid speed understanding a lot of the things that we're talking about. But at the same time, there's still a big portion of people that I just call the TV watchers, and that
TV
you know,
was.
yeah,
I
that
like that.
just really have no clue. I mean, if they heard some of our conversations, people like me and you, it would sound like a completely different language, and they have no concept of the philosophy and the things that we talk about. And yeah, I see that divide getting uh big. So yeah, we're on the same level. And when I talk to you know man, I'll tell you, I was gonna say friends and family, but really, it's like that list is getting smaller and smaller. Not family so much, but as far as having people to talk to, and relate to, because if you go to a family event, or if you go to hang out, which I really don't even do anymore, but if you find yourself in a conversation with somebody, it's like I don't even know what to talk about anymore, unless it's somebody that does what we do. That's why I like going to events so often, because at least I'm around like-minded people. Other than that, if I run into somebody like, oh, did you see the basketball game or the football game? It's like I have no idea, what to talk about, nor at this point, do I am I interested in it? And excuse me, but I'm just so involved in what I do, and there aren't very many people where I live that are. And yeah, it's you don't know what to say to people. I mean, I don't know, that's maybe it's just me, but
Well, no, actually, I totally understand what you're saying. And the only thing I would add to that, though, is that you probably have, I'm just guessing by what you said, you probably haven't traveled a lot around the world. The US right now is like being in North Korea. Like when I go there, it's like I have to just put on like blinders and like you have to talk to them all differently. Like it's really sad. It's really sad what's
I've
been
been to
going on.
Canada twice for
Oh, that's
for
the
a
same
couple
thing, same
months
thing.
for a couple months at a time, but twice, and that's it. I've never been to any other country.
Just go south a little bit. This place that they call the most dangerous place in the world, Acapulco, Mexico. It's actually pretty anarchist, and that's why they don't want you to know about it. And I'm not saying it's perfect. No place is perfect, although it's
Right,
beautiful here. But like the people are not brainwashed
right,
yet. So you, like, we probably couldn't have this conversation with your average Mexican. This deep of a philosophical conversation wouldn't probably not happen. They wouldn't understand where we're coming
right.
from. However, if we just said, "What do you think's most important about life?" and almost everyone here in Mexico would say, "I just want to control my own self and." I want to just be happy, which is totally fine, which
Right,
is
right.
great. But you go to the U.S. and you ask somebody what's most important about life, they'll be like, well, first we have to, you know, pay taxes
Yeah,
or
right,
something.
right.
Like, what are you talking about? This is so interesting to
Yeah.
me. This is so super interesting how it's all changing so fast. And thanks to the internet, people in different places can talk
Yeah.
and root out all these stupid ideas that they have.
No, yeah, and man, I'll tell you, and that's why I started doing what I do is when I started to get hip to the idea that, hey, I'm being lied to on a massive scale here, I literally like burned DVDs and brought them to local repeaters. They like to call themselves reporters and journalists. And yeah, I actually have video of me trying to give them information and them completely ignoring me and walking away while I'm saying, and they didn't even know what the information was. They just knew my name from me sending them emails. And this was before, I was a known activist. I was just some guy trying to give them information. In this particular instance, it was about 9/11, and I was trying to give.
Were you involved, just to sort of cut you
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
were you involved with Luke Rudetsky
Oh
during
yeah,
that
yeah.
time?
I'm
Oh,
very
okay,
very good
great.
friends with Luke.
Excellent.
Yes.
Just briefly, though, on the 100th episode of Anarchast, Luke told me something. He said, I gave out like 2 million DVDs and I got like 2 responses back. But the internet, however, he's realized, and I think you probably realize,
Yeah.
that this is a way better way to transfer information.
Oh, absolutely. And when I say this, I'm talking like 8 years ago. This is
Well,
right. This is
let me just say thank you for your service if you were involved in 9/11 Truth. Thank you for your service.
yeah, and I appreciate that. And if people don't realize what you're saying, especially back in those days, it was not. It was not like it is now. It was brutal, especially in New York City. Every year it got a little bit more. There, there were less people as far as protesting. That's a different story. But as far as the people's perception, there were almost fist fights back in like '04, '05.
I heard Luke told me about those old days, like 10 years ago, being on the street handing out
Right.
brochures. You guys are
It,
heroes.
well, I thank you. I appreciate that. But I mean, I did everything I can, and I organized one of the things that I thought was a great idea is we have a local radio station here, news talk radio station, and I called up and I kept trying. This happens to be the same guy that wouldn't take the information about 9/11, and I would try to say, hey, listen, you really need to look at this evidence and just dump my call immediately. So what I did was I organized a couple hundred people from all across. I mean, now this is a local radio station. So, I mean, if somebody calls from
And where are you, by the way?
northeastern Pennsylvania,
Okay.
so if somebody were to call from 30 minutes away, that's considered, it's almost like a long distance call for this radio station. I organized people from all across North America, from Texas to California, a ton of people in Canada, and they just because I realized he could very easily dump my call with the press of a button. But if I have 300 people that are on the lines waiting with the same message to hit him up, then what's he gonna do? And we did. We hijacked his show for an entire 4 hours, and yeah, oh, it was epic. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm.
It probably didn't change many people, though.
It
It'd be
might
fun, though.
it might not have, but I will tell you this. Just like the NDAA, just like so many important issues, I pretty much am the one that scoops the stories for my area with these big events by calling. Now I can't call that guy's show anymore, unless I have somebody get me by the screener. But then as soon as he hears my voice, he'll just dump the call anyway.
No
But
one's listening anyway. They're listening more to your show than his show, believe me.
that's another thing. I'm so busy now, actually taking his collars and his job away from him. So. I haven't even had a chance to even bother. I would like to get to the point where I could put a team of people on that and say, hey, go put the final nails in the coffin of this guy. I would like to get to that point. But I call up and watching this progression, there, like I said, between the NDAA and so many things, 9/11 was completely taboo, and they wouldn't talk about it, and they still don't. But here's the thing now: at least with 9/11, now the other subjects are a little bit different. I'll tell you that in a second. But at least with 9/11 now, they recognize that there's a huge majority of people that don't. They still call us conspiracy theorists and crack nut jobs or whatever.
Now, let me just cut you off for
Yeah.
one
Go ahead.
second and say Dick Cheney, the Bush family, Rockefellers, we know what you did, and you're going to go away. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
We're
sure,
not going to violently aggress against them because we're anarchists, like,
right.
but that's enough. Stop it.
Right. And on that point, I was very very fortunate to confront. I don't know if you noticed or not, Donald Rumsfeld on the missing 2.3 trillion dollars.
No, I didn't see that. At you actually did that on like video.
Yeah, that's
Oh, please send me that link, and
I
we'll
will.
definitely put that down below. Thank you for your service.
That was 10 years, and I think other than Cynthia McKinney, who was a congresswoman, other than her, I think I was the only person, so you could say the only journalist that actually asked him. He was coming down a line where he was shaking hands and everybody was just, kissing his ass. And when he got to me,
One of the biggest murderers on earth.
right. And once he went, Danny Panzella was to my left with one camera, and I was standing right here with a second camera. He went to shake my hand, and I didn't shake his hand immediately. And I knew I had to word it right because he was surrounded by, all kinds of Secret Service. And I was like, hey Donald, did you ever find that $2.6 trillion that you said went missing the day before 9/11? Did you ever find it?
September 10th. Like this is
Right. The
like
day
if you
before.
don't know this, if people don't know this, September 10th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld announced, and you know this, Anthony, but some people might not know this. Sorry, we're missing 2.3 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion. Like this is like.
And actually, when you watch the video, he says billion.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Right, and depending on which video you watch, because some people mirrored it and changed it a little bit, it shows where all the mainstream media outlets said there's a missing 2.3 trillion.
Yep.
So it shows that he totally was off a little bit there, and
Off by about 1,000. That's
yeah,
pretty typical for government people.
Right. But what was amazing about that was at CPAC a couple years ago, and he has never, that I know of, I've been at CPAC every year since, he has never he has never came near people ever again. The following year,
I don't even know he exists. Has anyone seen him?
The last I seen him was not at the last CPAC, but the CPAC before. But every year they're making it harder and harder. Well, like I said, he's never. That was the last time he was around people, shaking hands, where that opportunity could have happened. And
Amazing.
yeah, the next year they said he was sick, and they kept him back like 50 yards. The next year they said, oh, it's only for book signing, but but there was no people actually like signing books.
Did he actually write a book?
I don't know. That's what I don't think there was anybody actually signing books. And
But
I
did
think
he
the
actually
guy-
write a book? I'm curious because
Oh, I don't know the answer.
I think he's
to
just
that.
some sort of status robot. Like
It's-
like what would he write about? I like to kill everybody.
Yes.
Do you want me to
Death.
sign your book?
Death, murder, death. Yes. Oh my God. But yeah. So that was that, and that was a real big deal when I asked that, because I mean everybody's seen it, and he has never talked to anybody. Actually, you know what? Other than me seeing him in the distance at CPAC the next 2 or 3 years, I don't think I've ever seen or heard from him ever again. Like
No, he seems to have disappeared. Well, I have this crazy idea. It might be crazy. I think these people believe for a period of time because they're brainwashed in some of these people. But if they stop believing, they just disappear.
It's possible. I mean, there's no way I could speak for sociopathic, mass murderers, nor would I ever try. Um, but what was great about that year, me and Luke just totally,
I love Luke, by the way. Not asexually, obviously, but
yeah, no,
that kid is rocking it.
he's hardcore. He's a master of his craft. He's great.
Yes.
And that year, I don't know if you noticed or seen this video, but that was the year where he caught Dick Cheney right as he was walking into the elevator and started.
I saw that one. I saw that one.
Yeah, that was just epic.
Here's the thing, okay? I just want to say this. These guys, there's only a few of them. There's only a few fucking horrible devils on this planet.
Right.
And if you even talk to them, they run away and they scour.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. So this is what I've proven, and it's taken me years to accumulate this resume where you could actually go back and see the videos. Like when I confronted Mitt Romney when he was running for president, he was coming down the rope line, okay, and I was a delegate actually to the RNC for Ron Paul. I figured at very least I'm going to go witness. If I win, which I did. At very least, I could go down there, see what happens firsthand, document everything, and do some confrontations because I knew everybody and their mother was going to be there. So Mitt Romney was at an event near my area, and he's coming down the rope line, and he's taking pictures with babies, shaking hands for the. There might have been like 50 people there. Okay, the week before.
That was what I was going to interrupt you on. Is you said everyone but their mother is not going to be there. No one's there. You've seen it. It's like 20 people.
Oh wait! I said everybody and their mother was gonna be not at the. I was referring to something else.
My point is like I think that if I understood you correctly, you were saying that a lot of people thought this was important.
Oh wait, let me think. The Mitt Romney one. What was I saying right before that? Because I know I couldn't have said.
Rumsfeld. No. I'll let you correct yourself if you want to. But I think what you said was it was very important to talk to Dick Cheney or Rumsfeld or whoever. It's really like 20 people around, and it's usually just prostitutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And
so it really isn't that important.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's just funny. That's how it's sort of portrayed in the media in the U.S., which is basically the second worst country on earth other than North Korea and maybe Cuba.
And I really would like to, if I had the money or if I ever get the money, I would love to travel the world and do what I do now, but document it and show people what it's like. I mean,
let me cut you off there because I have this idea. This crowdfunding thing has become really big. Why don't we send anarchists, peace-loving, intelligent human beings to areas like Ukraine right now, right? And it costs like $3,000. Why don't we do this? Let's send Luke or you. I won't do it because I'm old, I'm tired. But why don't we just change the game a little bit here?
Okay.
Do you not understand me on that?
What come up with the money and
a few thousand dollars. We can send you or Luke to the Ukraine or Syria.
I'm all for it.
Why don't we do this as anarchists?
I'm with it. I'm all for it. I don't know why we.
This is just like a idea I have. Like whenever I see these events happening in the Ukraine or Syria, it's like let's send Luke Radowski, let's send Anthony there to tell us what their perspective is on what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you what.
People would put in I'll tell you, I've seen it. Thousands of dollars.
No,
Bitcoins,
no,
actually.
you're
Bitcoins,
absolutely
yeah.
right. And yeah, and no, you're absolutely right. And I know Luke does a great job of he travels every chance he gets. He's been where was Bilderberg last year?
Switzerland or Europe. Yeah.
Switzerland, right? Yeah. So yeah,
Davos.
Luke travels, and now that things are really starting to get streamlined here. Once I get, I mean, I'll be honest. The reason I'm not able to do is because of funds.
That's my point. That's
That's
my
the
point.
right. That's the main reason I'm not able to
Anyone
just pick
watching
up
this,
and
anyone watching this, let's put a few Bitcoins into Anthony or Luke's pocket and let's send
yeah.
them around the world.
How great would it be if we could actually get enough money for me and Luke to go together? Because I'm telling you, listen, when me and Luke work together,
Yeah, so two people.
it's
It's
not
like
like
five
working
thousand
with a
dollars.
professional. It's great because man, I wish we had time. I could tell you some
Go
of the
ahead.
stories
Go ahead.
about how there's been times like where I'll set a pick for him, like I'll distract somebody just so he could sneak in the door and go interview somebody else, and there's just all kinds of great tactics, and we have signals we give each other, and just oh, there's so many people and so many different instances, and we read off each other so well. And all I got to do is just give him a look, and he'll grab his gear, and we've got it down to such a science where we know the back elevators, we know where people are at, and actually this kind of segues into what I was going to say, and I do remember when I said everybody and their mother, I was talking about the RNC, the Republican National Convention, where Ron Paul, where there was 30, 40,000 people there, and all the mainstream outlets. That's what I meant. All these the big reporters and everything.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay,
I
Florida,
remember.
for the 2012 election. That's what I meant when I said everybody was going to be there, because
Forty
that
thousand
was that
people
was
is
a huge
nothing, by the
event.
way.
And
No,
oh, okay,
the only thing I
yes,
want to say
but
about that
well,
is
I was
40,000 people.
right.
There's 7 billion, more or less,
No, no, I'm with you, but what I was getting at was somebody like me who likes to
which is
confront
excellent.
a lot of these politicians and these mainstream repeaters. It was like having all the rats
Oh,
in
we
one
should have
hole,
nuked that
and
place.
I was just
Let's crowdfund nuking. No, I don't want to do that. No.
I think that
Yeah,
would go against
yeah.
the
But
NAP.
but with our minds,
um,
let's just get rid of
but
these fucking rats
yeah,
and actually welcome them. Actually welcome them. You know, even if Dick Cheney was here, sitting right here, within about 5 minutes, I'd have him crying and telling me about how his dad hit him. I don't think anyone's really evil. I think they just go the wrong way.
do you think they get to the point where
Oh,
the evil
definitely, definitely. Like
consumes
over
them? Where
time, they just.
okay, right. And by the way, we mentioned 9/9/10/2001. Can you guess which mainstream repeater got his job syndicated the day before 9/11?
I can't guess, but Pierce Brosnan, maybe, or Morgan, or whatever his name was. That
This will be a good pop quiz for other people,
tell
for
me.
9/11. Sean Hannity got syndicated the day before 9/11, 9/10. So a lot
That was
going
an
on the
interesting
day
day,
before
wasn't it?
9/11.
What? Maybe we
Yes.
should just think a little bit about. Oh my God! Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
service, my
I
friend.
know. So what I was saying,
Thank you.
thank you. So what I was saying about exposing these people is when I went to the Mitt Romney event. Yeah, there might have been 50 people there. 20 of them were media. 20 of them were security, and they had a rope line set up, and he's working his way down it. and I have a cameraman on my right on this time. And one of the tactics they like using at these events is they like to blare the music as loud as they possibly can. Okay,
I've seen
and
on Adam's podcast many times. When he starts talking to people, they
right.
just turn up the music. He can't even talk.
Right. So that's the reason is number one. So if people yell things or try to, say anything derogatory, the music drowns it out. Or if somebody tries asking a real question, they
A
just pretend
real
they don't hear
question?
you.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So what happened with Mitt Romney? It was the timing was so perfect. You have to see this
I
video.
want to.
Uh, yeah, he was taking a picture or shaking somebody's hand, and he was about 3 feet away from me. I was just ready to say something to him, and the song ends. Okay, and you could even hear him on video saying this. He's like, "Wow, when the music stops, you could actually hear each other speak." And I'm thinking, this is your event. Just tell if you want to talk to people, just tell them to turn the music down. And to me, it's just so obvious. So he comes up to me, and I tried being slick and saying, hey Mitt, I'm a possible because at this point I wasn't elected as a delegate. I said, hey Mitt, I'm a possible delegate to the RNC. I said, can I ask you a question? He ignored me. I said, if you're elected president, I said, would you get rid of the NDAA, which now allows for the indefinite detention and assassination of American citizens? And he ignored me. And I said, is that a no response, Mitt? And he started walking away. I'm like, I better ruffle his feathers. I said, so I'll take that as a no then. And then now he's about 2-3 people down. So he's even further. Okay. And the music started playing by this point, but he did hear me, and I must have got him mad enough where he turned his head and he said, "Don't put words in my mouth."
They
He
always
said,
say that.
"I don't."
I hate that.
Right. Don't put words in my mouth. I don't take important questions on the rope line. Important questions are for press conferences. Now, even if that is the case, when did Mitt Romney ever have a press conference to talk about
September
important
10th,
information?
2001.
Yeah, right.
And no questions
So,
asked. No one
right.
even
So, but
put their hand up. That was like the most bizarre press conference I've ever seen. Like, he just walked up. He said, "Sorry, we kind of are missing 2.3 trillion, not billion, not million."
it was like they just went to get it on the record so that it was archived somewhere so they could say it was broadcast.
And he actually said, and this is really interesting, very interesting if you're into anything about the truth. He said, some people are going to die. And then the next day, something hit the accounting department of the pentagram.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Wake up. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not telling you, sorry, Anthony. I'm trying to tell anyone who's watching this,
right?
Because I can tell you are awake. Wake up.
So here's what we got now. We have these people that they only deal with controlled environment. They will never answer your question. So this CPAC, I went there, and every politician I approached, whether I was going to hit them hard or whether some of them I really didn't even have much to say, but I was going to come up with something. And as soon as I approached them, just because it wasn't a controlled environment, as soon as I said, can I ask you a question? Their new tactic is they just completely pretend you don't exist. I mean, I got roughed up actually by Rick Perry's people when I asked them about Bilderberg.
Really?
I said, yeah, oh yeah, and listen to this. So Rick Perry, he's walking. I get right next to him. I said, Rick, you admitted to going to Bilderberg. Can you tell us what happened there? And he pointed like this to me. So he let his guys know, get on this guy immediately. Meanwhile, another reporter.
Fuck these guys.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time. As human beings, don't nonviolent. Just ignore these criminals.
Jeff, listen to what.
I am listening. I'm listening. I'm enjoying this so much. Thank you.
Wait to hear this. So. The battery on my DSLR was dead at this point because I was putting in work all day long, and
technology hasn't advanced enough. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, no,
cool.
it was my fault. I should have had an extra. Well, I did have.
Sure,
I
sure. It's fine. That's a side note. Yeah.
But anyway, so I still have my cameraman with my main camera, so I was still good. But I always want backup, even backup audio if I can. So as he walks out, I ask him this question, and I stay on him, okay? And one of the few upgrades I have yet to make because it's extremely expensive is to get a good wireless mic because they're like $700-800. The microphone I use is still plugged in, okay? And he's power walking across this auditorium, and I'm staying right with him. And
They're
once he
done.
gets,
They're done.
yeah,
But go ahead. Go ahead.
once he gave the signal, get this guy off me. They were literally pushing me and like gut punching me. They kicked my legs out. Now here's this is
Physically,
the best.
physically.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my
Now
God. Thank you for your service.
here's the best
You're
part
a
about it.
hero.
I,
You are a hero. No, you got
thank.
actually
I
physically
didn't.
accosted.
That's happened many
Oh,
times. But here's the best part about this. On an iPhone, and I'm sure you know this, there's a camera on the front and the back. Okay. Now this happened so quick that when I went to record, that was my backup video. When I was recording, I thought I was recording from the front camera. Okay, and I was holding it like this, while I was asking him a question. Luckily enough, I made a mistake and it was recording through the back camera. So you're able to see the guy who goes out of his way. He eyes up the wire from my microphone, steps takes a long step forward, steps on it, and pulls it and then pulled out of the camera. You could see the camera jerk. It broke my microphone. Okay, luckily I have a second one, but it
nice.
broke my microphone. But I got him on video stepping on that, and you could see two college kids that were standing right there that seen it. They thought it was hilarious, and you could hear my cameraman say, "Dude, what's the matter with you?" He's like, "What are you in second grade?" He's like, "Grow up." And I confronted them about it later. There was like five of them, and I asked them. I said, "Aren't you guys ashamed of
Use
yourselves?" I said,
guys.
"Could
Are you
you?"
from New Jersey?
Everybody says that
It's
about
fine.
me.
It's interesting.
Uh,
I say a boot.
Everybody brings that
I
up.
grew up
Yes.
in frozen wasteland.
So, uh, I went up to him and I said, is that standard operating procedure for you to rough somebody up who's just trying to ask a question? And the guy didn't say anything. And then I said, yo, you're not going to answer me now. He's like, you were being rude. I said, no, actually, I was being very polite. And I said, even if I
Anarchists are
was
very
being rude,
polite.
right. And I said, even if I was being rude, I said, does that justify you purposely stepping on my microphone? And he didn't say a word. And then there was this other, young punk kid who must work for him. And I said, how about you? You have anything to say? And then I turned to like all five of them. And I said, and I said it right in front of them. I totally called them out. I said, see, they're all wearing suits. They all work for, the governor of Texas. They think they're a big deal, but look at them. Now, one word to say, a bunch of cowards. I said, these are all cowards from Texas. I said, this is the new America where these people are scared to death to even open up their mouth. Yet they'll rough me up for asking, one simple question. I totally called them out. I said, you're all cowards. And I said, don't worry, the internet will be the people will be able to judge for themselves on the internet of, how you guys really are and what you really stand for. So, I called them out. I called them out all the time.
No, thank you for your
Um,
service. The
thank,
only thing I would
thank you.
correct you or try to say something different. It's not Americans. We're people.
Yeah. No, no, you're right.
You
You're
got your
right.
beautiful,
And
like, beautiful daughter there. I have my beautiful daughter here.
right.
We're very
No,
close, my friend. You know
no,
what?
you're
You know
right.
what? I have this crazy.
It's a lifetime of indoctrination. I'm a work in progress. I'm still, I got on a little rant there, so I'm a work in
No, I
progress.
told you it's fine. It's fine. I love your rants.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I mean, I, man,
Go on.
man.
Let yourself be
Was it
free.
you brought up the part about being physically assaulted. Now, one of the first things I did as an activist, um, I this is when nobody wanted to. Now I could ask
You
for
started some of that.
yeah
Isn't that
yeah
amazing?
Well, yeah. Like now, I could
You and
ask.
Luke
Now I
kind
could.
of changed the world. Isn't that
I
amazing?
if that's the case, then yes,
You're so humble.
I just,
Isn't that beautiful?
yes, it is. I just hope that more people, because I get frustrated sometimes because
Yes,
I
of
I
course.
know I know what can happen if more people. I mean, when Luke and I think it was about a couple months. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Luke inspired so many people. Like when We Are Change, Chicago confronted Al Gore. Okay, Al Gore ended up canceling his book tour. W. Bush canceled his book tour. Tony Blair canceled his book tour. It's because these guys couldn't go anywhere without getting confronted and somebody saying your new world order will fail, So I mean it was
Actually, I want to interrupt a little bit. It's
yeah.
not so much about New World Order, which is totally fine, which, is an idea or a concept. But these guys are evil.
No, and
There's
I'm
like
with you.
only like 20 of them.
No, and I'm with
Why don't we
you.
do a Bitcoin sort of, let's get rid of these guys.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. The point of that was when
Actually, though,
no,
sorry
no,
to
go.
interrupt. No, let's not do that. Let's just ignore them.
Okay.
No,
I
really,
can't.
really.
Yeah.
I think that's
No.
the
Make
anarchist way forward.
make them obsolete. And the whole point I was making with the New World Order is I was saying that Luke inspired so many people when he did that Zbigniew Brzezinski confrontation. That's one of the things he yelled as he was, getting chased out of there. Your New World Order will fail,
Luke might be
and
Jesus.
he ended up inspiring so many people that a lot of the videos, that's exactly what these people have said. Your New World Order will fail. um but yeah, you're seeing such a change of it. But like I was saying, I get frustrated sometimes because I know if more people did this, I'm thinking, wow, if just one or two, or a dozen, or a couple
It's
dozen.
not. It's millions now.
Yeah, I know that, but are there? Well, yeah, depending, you got the cop block guys, and you got,
No, no, no. It's over. We already won.
yeah. Well,
And I appreciate that you're in North Korea or wherever you are,
yeah,
and you might get kidnapped.
it's very
No,
possible.
it's over. It's over. It's over. Stop it.
Yes, I, I'm sure you're right. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a. I don't know.
It's not
Yeah,
going to be like a few months, but it'll be a few years.
and are you hoping for a peaceful transition?
I don't care.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I can't believe people believe in this shit.
Yeah.
Donald Rumsfeld, September 10th,
Right. Like
2001?
really, really. Yeah.
You opened my
And
eyes to that. Thank you
in
very
10
much. Thank you for your
think
service.
about think about that. The biggest financial, debacle in at that time, the history of that country. I don't even know how to word it. This country, whatever you
Well,
want to
that,
say, failed state. How about that?
which is a good
uh,
thing.
yeah, right. So this 10 years, okay, and here's me who. The only reason I got into journalism is because I realized these people don't care about the truth. They're propagandists. They do everything they can. Admittedly, I have them on record. Many of these guys
Totally.
saying that we were told to stay away from
Fuck
controversial
them. Fuck
topics.
them.
It's
Let's go.
it's it's self
Let's
censorship.
go.
And that's why you see so many people coming to the internet and tuning into real
CNN has like 2,000 viewers now,
if they're lucky.
Larry King went to fucking RT, which is better.
Right. But I mean, it's
But he said CNN should show some SpongeBob SquarePants cartoons. No,
yeah,
this is changing big time. Wake up.
yeah. No,
Thank you for your service, my friend.
No, that So you mentioned getting roughed up. One of the first things I did once I started to get hip to this, I was still in the angry phase. Bill Clinton was speaking at an event, which was only 15 minutes from me. I couldn't get a cameraman, but I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity. I went there, and there was probably about 3,000 Democrats. And as he was speaking, every now and then I would once there was a
2,000 people.
yeah, there every
Population of the planet is probably about 7
right.
billion.
Uh,
That's like
but
0.0001% are listening to this fucking idiot.
it's definitely
Actually, I like Bill a little bit.
yeah.
Like, he's kind of, he just likes to have some fun, which is fine. Totally fine.
Well, here's and you got to watch this one too. Okay, this shows you really in my early days, and I went there by myself, with a small little camcorder, and every time there was an opportunity for me to yell something, I yelled, end the Fed or something, and he made eye contact with me the first time.
Wow.
I yelled something, and I gave him this look, and it was almost like I got in fight mode. I'm like, yeah, it's on. I'm like, I'm one of those guys. And so every time he stopped and said something, right, I jumped in and I intervened, and I said
Nice.
something. Finally, he said something about, now what are we gonna do now that something about the jobs? And I yelled, what jobs, right? And
Japs?
jobs, what job? I said, what
He
jobs,
brought
right?
up brought up Japanese people.
Yeah. So
Wow. Of all things, like,
right, right.
we have to stop these Japanese people from eating ramen, and
Right. So
wow.
this must have really hit a nerve with him because
Ah.
he stopped his speech. He looked at me. He said, "I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal." And he pointed right at me. He's like, "I'll make you a deal. You let me finish speaking, and then anybody who wants to stay and hear you speak is welcome to do so." And the obviously
Oh,
all the
people are listening to you more than Bill Clinton right now.
right. So obviously all
Here's the
the
change. Here's the paradigm shift. Are
right.
you ready?
So obviously all the drones, that were there, all the brain dead people, yeah, they were clapping, right? And so I yelled back at him. I said, "I will debate you right now." And then I yelled it again. I said, "I will debate
Don't
you
yell.
right now."
The only
And
thing I would say to you is don't yell.
right, right.
Just bring the truth.
Well, this is like I said, this was in my early days, and
Right, right.
I
I totally
this
understand.
is one of the
Totally fine.
this is one of the first things, one of the first big things I did, and I'm like, I will
Oh,
debate you
wow.
right now, and I got surrounded by.
Oh,
I got, listen, they must have gave a signal. I got surrounded by about eight, these big union guys, and they got so close, and you could see I put my hand out and I panned the camera around, and one by one you could see all their faces, and even some of them smile into the camera, and then you could hear this little I think he was like little Jamaican guy behind me. He was trying to antagonize me, and he kicked me in the leg. Okay, luckily the one mainstream station actually saw what was happening and was able to catch that on film from behind, and because you see the rules of engagement, and I know this, as long as I stayed focused on whoever I was on the crowd, they couldn't really do anything because people are allowed to yell at these events. But if I engaged any of the people around me, they very quickly would have arrested me and said I was inciting a riot or fighting with somebody. So, right. So even though this guy kicked me in the leg, I had to stay focused on what was going on. Then when you watch the video, I actually stayed for another 15, 20 minutes,
thank you for your
but
service.
no problem. But I clipped the video because there was nothing more I could do because now I'm surrounded by these union guys and they had their hand in front of the camera. They were blocking everything I was doing.
Anyone who wants to block communication is obviously, it's just so obvious now. Come on.
You you could actually hear the one older guy there say, "Why don't you just beat him up right now?" You could hear him say that,
Oh,
like right in the camera.
oh.
Like he could have
Just
beat, they
ignore
could
them.
have they could have jumped me right there, and I think the entire crowd, including the criminals on stage, would have been all for it. I really think that could have went down like that, and they would have been all for it. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
No, no one knows what's going on. Sorry, I gotta
No,
get some new earplugs.
no, you're right. And oh, you need some earplugs? I got plenty here.
Yeah, you told me at 30 or something. No,
But
man. Dude, thank you so much for your
I'm trying.
service.
I'm
No,
trying, Jeff.
you're not even trying. You're doing it. Uh,
Oh yeah.
let's say the anarchist right now. Let's just say this, okay? Crowdfunding, 20, 30, $50,000, $100,000. Let's send people like you and Luke. Not me. I'm tired and old. But let's send some people with some rational sense to make sense of what's going on. And let's, actually, Anthony, it's over. Do you know this? No,
Yeah.
let me say one more thing. It's over. We won. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, it is. But
Speak.
I,
I love hearing what you're saying. Go ahead.
no, you're right, and I agree with you. Just because if like I said, I always try to follow things to their natural and logical conclusion, and I could see so many people that are becoming aware of this, and people who years ago wouldn't accept it, but now, I mean, even in some of the like local mainstream people, I could hear it in their voice, and I could like they're just not buying it, and things that they never would have talked about. Yeah, okay, they're not at 9/11 yet, or they're not at a lot of these things yet, but they're bringing up things now. I don't know if it's more of a populist thing because they know so many
I
people.
don't think so. I think it's awakening. Like if you go
Yeah, yeah,
to a major like so-called press site, anything, USA Today, which I told the guy like some CEO or whatever. Anyway, the whole point that I'm trying to say is, you go to the comment section of any mainstream media,
yeah,
and it all disputes the article.
yeah, yeah.
It's
You're
beautiful.
absolutely right, and that is
Thank you for your
something.
service, my friend.
Yeah, no problem. And
No, no,
I mean,
don't just say that. Like, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much. Don't say no problem. You can say anything. It's fine. It's fine.
no, no,
But really, thank you for your service.
I'm just doing what I feel needs to
I
be
know. I
done,
know.
and I'm
It's
gonna
beautiful.
continue it. And I'm really looking forward to now, especially that I've come so far myself personally in my own thinking. And yeah, of course, I'm still torn on certain things, but
What things are you torn on? Like, tell me.
um I think I mentioned it earlier. I know I mentioned that was the main thing. I forget exactly
You're not
what
torn on anything that
not
anti-human.
no,
Yeah, no.
absolutely
I'm
not.
just trying to test you to find some weakness in your
I
philosophy.
just know like no, not
I don't think there
it's
is
not my
any.
philosophy. No, it's not absolutely not my philosophy. You know what? I guess what it is when I say I'm torn, it's because I do this full time, okay? I do this constantly, and I have to make a lot of very important decisions. And I have my daughter,
Yeah.
and and so it comes down to basically.
Being a father is super hard.
Yeah, right. And it's a huge responsibility, and it comes down
It
to.
changes men.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We go from being these guys who run around to, oh my God, I better make a lot of money to take care of these people. But you know what? Here's the change. Here's the change. Let's empower them and not let them be stolen from by criminals,
Right.
and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
That, I think, I might be crazy.
Uh,
That's
no,
the message.
no, we're thinking
I'm
this.
enjoying this conversation.
Yeah, me too, absolutely. No, you're not crazy. We're thinking thing, and you know what? if that's the definition of crazy, that you are somebody that is not into the pop culture mainstream society that everybody considers is, the social norm, then you know what? Sign me up. I'm crazy too. That's perfectly fine with me. Um, you
Here's
know,
the funny thing, okay? Like, I know you, I know Luke. Luke's got like a few million or 20 million views. Or, it doesn't matter. It's whatever.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Um, I don't know about you. I have like a million views. Like, nothing. People, listen to me 1 second. Give, care, empathy. Go on, my friend.
No, I don't know how
I'm
to.
super enjoying. Please just. Oh my God! How I think it's already changed. I think it's already over.
It,
I
it,
might be crazy. I might be crazy.
well, no, no. And here's the thing: is there there will have to be a transition because
Yes.
we understand this. We get this. But when I walk out the door, and if I go see somebody or go to the store, like everybody around me, chances are I'm not going to run into anybody who would have a clue about what we're talking about.
Not in the
So
U.S. Yeah.
obviously, right. So obviously, there has to be a huge change, and how that change is going to come, how it's going to happen, what it's going to lead to. That's up for debate and up for grabs because I don't know. I mean, you could say one thing about people, humanity, but when you have a family that just for example, just to give an example, you have a family that, say the dollar collapses and everything just goes to hell, all right? And a particular family has no clue about anything we talked about, didn't prepare, all right? They have a couple kids, all of a sudden there's no food in the grocery stores, everybody's panicking, okay? Now, you take that family and, times it by whatever you want, that's going to be a huge, huge portion of Americans. What kind of scenario is that gonna, especially like you said, America being or United States being basically North Korea at this point with this police state? What is gonna become of that? So
Well,
this,
I'll tell you something. I've traveled to many countries around the world. Most people are still awake. It's only right around where you are, which is interesting because,
really.
sorry, my headphones, I have to buy a good headphone. I know Larkin Rose, Josie the Outlaw, many people live around where you are, Pennsylvania, that are Adam Kokesh. No,
So
I'm telling you, my friend, this is pretty close to the end of the bad times.
I certainly agree with you with that. I mean, honestly, I think we're uh, as far as the bad times, I think the bad times are on borrowed time right now. I'm surprised that things haven't changed yet, and there might be reasons for that. The evil people behind this, obviously have plans. I don't know what, but I mean, Brzezinski himself mentioned it not once but twice about the global awakening, and for the first time in the history of the world, people are actually becoming politically aware. So they know that people are waking up and people are complete, like their whole thinking process is changing, and they need to deal with that. Governments feed off of fear. They feed off of
Exactly.
keeping them overworked and underpaid, and keeping their minds. George Carlin, I think, said it best when he said they want people that are just smart enough to go to work, press the buttons, and but not smart enough to come home and sit around the kitchen table and realize how bad they're being screwed by a system that threw them overboard decades ago. So I mean, that's seems to be what government. I mean, it's pretty much proven at this point. That's what governments want. They want obedient workers. They want slaves, debt slaves. I mean, that's the way the system's built. You know,
No,
so
it was
that's all
planned.
you gotta
You know this.
right. That's all you got to do is just look at the way the system's built, and you realize this is what they want. They want, you know, they don't want. I mean, just take the one example: the Federal Reserve. It's a debt-based currency. They print up $1 billion and then lend it to the United States government at interest. And then say, okay, you owe us $1 billion plus whatever. Well, if you never print that whatever the interest is, it's mathematically impossible for that debt to ever get paid back. That's why the debt that's one reason why the debt constantly goes up. That's what they want. So, I mean, do you really think that if, you know, two people like me and you could sit here and figure out solutions to the world's problems that other people can't do it? It's just common sense. It's logic that things are the way they are because the people who are in control want it that way, and that's why information is so important, because when people become aware, they realize, you know what, let's make them irrelevant. Let's you know.
Where are these guys, by the way? Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney. They just disappeared into dust.
Well, maybe that'll show us how close to the transition
We're
we are.
super close, my friends.
They might be in their deep underground military base, you know. They might be Fuck was right, man. Fuck is right.
Super awesome. Anthony Antonello. Please check him out. This has been so. I'm on a personal experience myself. I actually am a little drunk, but it's so, like, I can't take this world much more if these criminals, these murderers, keep owning people's minds. So please share this video. Please check out Anthony Antonello. Please check out Luke Rudowski. Or else we're all gone and we don't care. Peace, love, anarchy.
This is Anarchast.